Well, warmed up a little bit today. I decided to come up here and try to work on my C-Cab. I still haven't gotten the gaskets yet for the carburetor, but I did finish taking it apart. Got it all cleaned out. I'm just waiting now on the gaskets to get that put back together. But in the meantime, I was over here trying to finish up this passenger side of the engine. I wanted to get the starter in, the lifters in, the push rods in, see if we can get this side closed. Maybe even the distributor in. We'll see about that. Well, the first thing I was going to try to do was put the starter on. When I bought this kit with this adapter plate you see right here, it was made to adapt the Chevy 235 to a Power Glide or a Turbo 350 transmission. The first problem I had was, you can see right here, this wasn't machined out right here, and it wouldn't fit. So I had them do a little bit of machining on it to widen it out to get the adapter plate to fit. But the flex plate fit okay, and then I got the torque converter in already, so all of that on the bottom was okay. So the next thing to do, the kit also came with the starter. It's a regular GM starter. But the problem I'm having now is this, the Bendix here comes out. Let me show you. Take this out, right? This is where it pushes it and engages it in the gear. Well, this bearing you see here by my thumb, there's a countersink down here. Let me see if I can get, goes in. Now I got it in. The problem was, I don't know if it's maybe because my shop is too cold or whatever, but it wouldn't go in, it wouldn't fit. So I ended up taking my die grinder here with that little sanding wheel on it, and I just sanded it a little bit just to get it to fit. And now you see here, now I can get it in there. Get it out. So I'm going to try putting it back in here, and like that, and then let me get the camera set up and we'll try to bolt it all together and see if it'll go. The other thing I noticed on the starter, it's got two bolts here and here that come in from the outside, and this hole is threaded, so it looks like originally one bolt threaded that way. But if you look down here, there's no thread holes down here for the bottom bolt, so he's just mounting it with these two bolts right here. So we'll try it and see how it works. Well, I got the hole in the center opened up enough now that the bearing goes in pretty easy, but these two screws right here, it won't start. I can't get it. I called Performance Adapters, people that make it, and he assures me that they're tapped quarter 28, which is what this is, but it's really tight. I can't get either one to start. I think maybe what happened is they tapped it from the other side, and on a taper on the tap, and they didn't go deep enough, so this side got a little tighter than the other side. But with the bell housing here, I can't get to the other side. And unfortunately, I don't have a quarter 28 tap. I've been looking. So that's what I'm going to do, is go buy me a quarter 28 in tap and just re-tap it from this side. Like I said, I can't get either one of them to start. So anyway. Well, I went to town yesterday and I picked up a quarter 28 fine thread tap to tap the starter bolts. Well, I couldn't get the camera in here, but I went ahead and re-tapped this one right here. And I want to see if you can see. I don't know if you can see in the camera all the aluminum chips that are on the floor right there. They come out of this hole that was supposed to already be a quarter 28. Matter of fact, there was some more here. You can see right here from where I cleaned off the tap. But I got it to go all the way through. It's tight, the threads are good. But now my problem is I got to rethread this one in the back. And you can see here how close it is up to the block. I had a T-handle for that small, my tap wrench right here had a little T-handle on it like this. But I'm not going to be able to swing that in the back. So what I just did was I had an old socket. I welded an old 1/4-inch drive socket onto it. And hopefully I can get it back here like this and turn it with a ratchet and we can get it started. So let me see if I put some oil on it and get the ratchet set up. We'll see if we can chase the threads on that one because I can't get the bolt in the way it is now. Well, I got a little lucky on the back one. It was like maybe 2 turns, and then the threads caught, and it went all the way in. This ratchet helped a lot right here. So let me get ready to take it back out. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some bolts just a little bit longer so that they'll not go through but just come out right like that at the end, and then go also through the starter. These are only going to go in about halfway. So since I rechased the threads, I'd rather go full threads on both of these. Next thing we're going to do is pick it up, put it in there, and then see if I can get the bolt holes to line up with the starter. And then, like I said, I'll have to go get 2 more bolts, a little bit longer. Well, it took a little doing, but you can see here I got them started, both sides, and the starter fits okay. So for now, I'll just leave it like that, but I'll take them out one at a time and just replace them. Should be pretty easy. I'm going to get ready to put the lifters back in. Clean them up real quick. You could tell it hadn't run long. You can barely see any wear marks on them. Whoever rebuilt it last time. I don't know how good you can see that. Okay, let's see if we can get them oiled up and we'll drop them in. Notice this one here is plugged up. I guess they're not plugged up. It's just the way they are. Well, next thing we're going to do is put push rods in. It's got a cup side goes up, ball side goes down. What I want to do is put a little bit more oil on each one of these. It's assembly lube. Don't get much simpler than that, huh? Oh, there you go. Lifters and push rods. Well, next thing we're going to do is try to set the rack on here for the valves and rockers. Let me go grab it. It comes in, I took it apart all together, and I hadn't taken it apart since I took it off. So I'm going to try to put it back as just two pieces. It's two halves. Here's the one half here. It's got this tube here that goes in here for oiling. I got to get that tube started first. There we go. Let's see. Oh. Hammer in. Okay, get that one started. one started. That one started. So before I can torque them all the way down, I need to back off the push rods. Well, we're getting a little closer. I got the valve rack on there. I'm going to have to do some reading before I can go ahead and adjust the valves on it because I'm not very familiar with the procedure for adjusting it. I do know one thing. When this motor here actually came out of a 1955 Chevy pickup truck, and it had a straight drive in it. And this motor had the timing marks on the flywheel. And right here where I have my adapter plate, you see, there was a access window where you can get to the timing marks. So now with a flex plate, I don't have no timing marks. But what I did was I went and marked the balancer. I put the engine on top dead center on the number 1 cylinder and punched a mark here on my balancer. So I'm going to go ahead and make a sheet metal tab that comes from here out, like with a pointer on it, so that I can time it off of that. And I don't know if that's going to affect how I adjust the valves or not. I'll have to wait and see. Well, it's getting late for me. I think we're going to call this one a short video. And I appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe. And as always, questions, comments, suggestions, always welcome. And we'll get her done one piece at a time.